We learned last night at this parliamentary committee hearing that the government has modelled vaccination targets based on several scenarios after dumping their everyone gets a first dose by October target. But the bureaucrats say it is not up to them to produce that material, it's up to the politicians.
The program recalibration is very much dependent on decisions made on Thursday.
But you are doing modelling, because I think it is important that we know that you are doing modelling to basically track the rollout of this
on a range of scenarios. There are a range of variables that now are in play, including vaccine confidence and supply variables. But we certainly do modelling at all times to sort of plan for various eventualities. But in terms of giving hard targets, as I said, we've provided information on aged care because we are now confident in the supply and the distribution and the planning for that sector, and we're happy to give that.
And whose decision was it not to have a timeline? Was that your decision or a decision of government?
Well, at the moment, government has said that with all the uncertainty, there's no value in putting any revised timelines out. Okay. That will be a decision that government may or may revisit.
There was also a revelation in the evidence from Health Department Secretary Brendan Murphy that in an environment where they're looking to vaccinate the vulnerable first, they haven't got there. There are about 200,000 people in residential aged care in Australia. The committee was told that 115,000 aged care residents have had their first dose, 62,000 their second dose, so less than a third vaccinated at this point. And the committee heard that just 100 of about 6,000 disability care homes have had vaccinations delivered. So that's 1,640 people out of 25,000.
About 25,000 people in the 6,000 facilities.
So you've got 25,000 people and 100 so far have had one dose. Is that right?
93 facilities have had one dose and 17 have a second. But I would...
Sorry, 93 facilities.
Yeah, and 17 have had a second dose. But I would hasten to add that we have deliberately focused on aged care residents, and this has been a very small, we do not for a moment say it's more than a trickle of vaccinations, and we are now working to gearing that up as the aged care residents program is nearing its completion.
So as we heard from Kieran earlier this morning, there has been a report of someone in Queensland developing a blood clot after getting the Pfizer vaccine. My advice in relation to that is to be careful about drawing a link. That's from federal government sources. There are 50 cases of clots every day. Typically, they might not be vaccination related. And in Victoria today, the state government seeking to stir the pot a bit on vaccination by committing $50 million towards a new mRNA plant that can manufacture vaccines other than AstraZeneca, such as Pfizer and Novavax. The federal government is supportive of this and believes a $1 billion contract it has with CSL over 12 years for a new vaccines plant already opens the mRNA opportunity. Here is Home Affairs Minister Karen Andrews talking about this with us on Sunday.
In medical products, one of the things that we identified as a subsector that we needed to look at was mRNA vaccine manufacturing capability. So that work is already happening.
So, Minister, sorry, we're just running out of time. So do you think a plant, just briefly, do you think a plant could be built in Australia?
Absolutely, absolutely.